So hi everybody, my name is Dominika with Strategic Solution Partners and Convivi, and I'm here today with Norman van Aken, an esteemed chef and also a food and beverage expert for Strategic Solution Partners, to talk about an amazing project run by Stacey Archer and Camilla's House in Miami, aimed at helping low-income families learn how to cook. So I'm very excited to talk about this with you, Norman. Hi, good morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. So what can you tell us about the project? Foundation, what it's about, how it started for you?
Sure. Camilla's House has been part of Miami's guiding spiritual force for people who are homeless or formerly homeless, facing homelessness again, for 50 plus years. I've been involved periodically from time to time, doing things like going there to help with the meals, Thanksgiving times, things like that. Also with our restaurant Norman's, which was founded in Miami. We did a number of fundraising dinners on behalf of Camilla's House. Always gratifying to be involved with them. Then about 6 months ago, a woman named Stacey Archer contacted me. One of the principals of the Camilla's House, everybody's volunteer, pretty much, contacted or was speaking to Stacey and said, you know, Stacey, what you've got going here is fantastic. She was a blogger, essentially, who was teaching folks out of her home, connecting with them virtually, just like we are in this program right here, and showing folks who were living in a project that's tied to the Camilla's House called Verde Gardens. And Stacey donating her time and efforts, teaching direct, healthy, simple, straightforward meals that the families themselves could replicate. And this gentleman, whose name is Bob Dickinson, said, why don't you contact Norman van Aken, and I bet he could help you round up the best chefs in South Florida, in the Miami area in particular. So Stacey and I met for the first time 6 months ago or so, and she gave me the outline of what she'd been doing and what she'd hoped to do. And so I immediately felt like this is right up my alley. I wanted to be able to do something like this forever. We do charity work so often by doing dinners and things like that, but to have this, which kind of helps me be more personally involved with the program, is something that I'm grateful for, especially at this place in my life that I'm at, you know, post the majority of my career, I guess, in regards to restaurants, but not fully, because I'm still doing it after all these years. So Bob put me in touch with Stacey. Stacey and I met. Stacey described what she had in mind, which was essentially to identify one chef per month to do what she'd been doing, to expand the reach of the program, to make it more part of the dialogue out there in our community so people would know more about it. And by bringing forth the first year of chefs that I was able to contact and get to say yes, the word is spreading really nicely now. Yeah.
That's really wonderful. So what impact are you seeing when you teach these classes and when you teach people how to cook? What difference is it making in their lives?
Well, let me describe it a little bit, how it works, because I want people to be able to understand this fully. What happens is that we meet at Florida International University, FIU, North Campus. FIU's got a beautiful state-of-the-art facility that is a kitchen with cameras and all of the things that you would need. Then there is a tie-in, like we are right now, sort of like a Zoom call tie-in, with the families that have opted in to take part by taking the class that month. Camilla's House has people who will volunteer, go out, do the shopping, get the food, create a meal kit, and then deliver the meal kit to the families at Verde Gardens that have opted in for that class that month. So then around 6 o'clock each evening of the month that we do this, the lights go on, the cameras go on, and the chef and Stacy, myself in the first issue, were beamed into their homes, and they conversely are beamed back toward us. So we've got this giant monitor. So we're actually able to see the family cooking alongside us, which really puts it in a human context. And so, and what's really sweet in many ways is that the children are involved too. The people who are residents of Verde Gardens are almost, I would say, 98 or 99% women and children. This is the way things sometimes are in the society. And so the chefs are mandated to create a healthy, easy, delicious, replicatable meal that would be within the economic ability for people to subsequently later on, a month later, a week later, make that dish themselves. So that's kind of like, if you can envision that setting now, that's how it rolls out.
That's absolutely wonderful. And Norman, so what did the celebrity element do for the project? Did that help raise awareness a little bit more? The fact that so many famous chefs have been involved with the project.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, celebrity can be used like any tool. It can be used for good or for not good. In this case, it's pure good. And people, they live all over the city, and they have favorite restaurants in their area of the city oftentimes. And so they may not have heard of Camilla's House yet, or know about the work that takes place in Verde Gardens, but because their chef, the chef that they admire so much, and they go to that person's restaurant, is doing it, is participating in it, then that leads them into knowing more about the efforts of Camilla's House and the program chef. So yes, its network now spreads out. More people are learning about it. It's just 4 months old, which is really young. Not the entirety of it, because Stacy began before January. But the way that it's flowered out now, the way that it's progressing, we're only about 4 months old. And so we have much work to do to get the word out there.
Great. So that brings me to a very important question. There are many great people in the hospitality industry, hotel owners, CEOs who would really love to help. So how do you think hotels could help, or whoever wants to help could help expand that project? What are the needs of the project right now? And where are you envisioning it going?
Right. This is like crowdsourcing for ideas. I'd hate to think that I'm the only person that could come up with ideas. I'm sure I'm not the only person. And I would look forward to people offering their ideas to help anyone that wants to help the issues of homelessness and coincidentally, the ongoing education of people that can then help themselves more and more going forward. Because this is a huge part of the program, Tommy. It's we're involving the chefs because of the chefs' knowledge. The chefs have particular knowledge. And so what we want to do is to turn that knowledge loose and have them share it with the family, so the families can go, I could cook this and I could cook that, and then I love this. Or, also, I've never heard of that ingredient. I never heard of that technique. So there's this ongoing educational aspect to the program that I'm sure hotel operators could certainly go, well, we could help with that. And we know a lot about that. Or we have a facility where we could bring this or that to the party. We want people to know more about all of these things. So I'm excited to be on the listening side of things too.
So do you think potentially with the current labor shortages in the hotel industry, this could eventually morph into a training program for young people to bring them closer to job opportunities at hotels, for example?
Well, you're spot on as far as the industry right now. I don't have the figures in front of me, but it's an astonishing amount of people have left the industry. Whether they'll return to the industry as things turn around, I don't know. But almost everyone I do know that's in the industry has been saying to me how challenging it is to find enough labor to fill the slots. People are coming back into the restaurants and hotels. We know that. But I know from speaking to so many people that they've had to shrink the hours of operation. They've had to shrink the number of dishes. There are so many shortages that are going on as far as people being to have the supplies that they need. Now, how that interfaces with the issues of homelessness and education, not exactly sure, but we as a industry have got to look at both aspects.
That's wonderful. So it sounds like a wonderful opportunity, really, because it's a young program. You could take it in many different ways, perhaps to have several factions, one working with families, another one training young professionals and help them reinsert themselves into working life and into hospitality industry, right? So the right. Option seems endless.
As you mentioned the celebrity aspect, some of the touching moments happen when the children in the families are interacting with the celebrity chefs on the screen. The most recent celebrity chef is Michelle Bernstein that was teaching, and she was excellent at being able to communicate directly with the child in this case about some of the things that Michelle was teaching. Now, there was some reticence on one hand as far as the child wanting to taste something that had a certain ingredient into it, but Michelle was able to give that Michelle finesse. And I would wonder if these types of moments aren't the types of moments that could cause a child at that young, impressionable age to go, maybe I'd like to be a chef. Maybe I'd like to be in the industry that this person's in. It looks like fun.
Wonderful. Great. And do you think that this would be replicable perhaps with other aspects of hospitality industry? Because I imagine that these families probably need help with financial management, for example, or many different aspects of everyday living that they didn't really have a chance to learn about.
Right. Right. I think education has been how I've been able to succeed as a chef. I did not go to culinary school ever. I was cooking as a line cook and realized that there was a great big world out there. And the only way I was going to get further along in it would be to become educated. School was too expensive for me in my situation. So I started to become self-educated through reading. Self-education is a bit of a misnomer because no one's self-educated. We learn from others. People I was working with or the people I was reading. The people who are homeless, nearly homeless, were homeless in the situation, in the economic difficulties that people are in, they need educational skills that can help them out of the misery that they have been in due to
circumstances, life happening.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, we're teaching people how to cook, or how to cook more or different dishes. They probably know how to cook plenty of dishes, but this is to stretch them and to give them a sense of involvement in the world that's larger, which I think is always enabling and makes us feel more, I'm not just trapped in my little house and my little dead-end job, or people need to also feel the magic, and that's what cooking can do. But other skills can be taught too, and life skills, things that are going to help people transition from this low-income life and the scarcity or food insecurity. That's another really important aspect of this thing, and how we can lift them up, and they can then lift themselves up further.
That's wonderful. You already know I'm a huge fan of this project, Norman. So I would love to give everybody in the hospitality industry the opportunity to reach out and get involved with the project. And like you said, because everybody around the project is very open to different ideas. So this way I would like to invite everybody who feels so inclined to propose any ideas to expand this project. And who is the best person to contact with these ideas?
Right. Well, Stacy Archer and I are the two on this side of it, but the Camilla's House organization also. But by starting with Stacy would be the way to best lead in. I do want to say that our dream here is not to be finished with this in Miami. We know that there is this need elsewhere in the world. I am close from having done so many events in my lifetime with chefs from around the country and around the world. And so Stacy and I are in the planning stages of seeing how we could take this to other cities and communities in the United States in the beginning. So yes, we're looking at communities that have the receptivity to that idea.
That's absolutely wonderful. So we will include the contact details, Stacy's contact details, and Camilla's house underneath this interview. And thank you so much, Norman, for taking the time to speak to me. And I hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. And I only think that we can help in these ways, and we should.
Absolutely. And on that thought, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you very soon.
Excellent. You too.
Bye.